Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of CyberBrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With CyberBrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at CyberBrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Explore how CyberArk, an effective privileged access control management solution, protects critical data and systems from potential threats.
The source of component of this message in the world server FPVO means the module with the messaging in the world. And 001 is the message number. I the message category. The firewall is open for the client communication. That is, but these are the. This is the error message. Number categories. Log messages are separated into 4 major categories. Informational. It will come with I unwarning it. It will come with ABU and error. It will come with E and system. It will come with S. The last you can see the letters IVSE. It will by using this. No error message by using this number. We can able to identify. I it's an information and from firewall is open for the client communication. Some information will come. Some information which is giving the warning means firewall contains external rules. We need to check and system server unable to communicate with firewall and events ls. Information error or authentication error. It will come as an E. There are a number of questions to ask on which log file we need to review, on what we need to search and keywords, error, failures, and times I'm using them. Subjects. I object. Name is nothing but account name and save name or the correlated interest in the other logs. All these things which we need to keep in mind on or always. We need to investigate the log files. Here you can see, this set the debuff mode for the Vault ITL log. Here there are some. One option is there in the administrator in the provider client server central administration. In the server there is an administration settings is there. Debuff level set dynamically and reset to the defaults. Did the Vault to debuff levels can be changed into the indie debuff data and TAPL. This is the configuration file for Vault. Once you do any changes in this configuration file, we need to reset the system. We have to restart the system. The world debuff levels can be changed without restart using the pair client or central administration. Here we can change it. Once we change it, we need to restart. But if you change anything here, immediately we know how to restart. In the provider client, if you change something, that is fine. But in the configuration file, it should be restarted immediately. Set the debuff modes for the components. We have to update the debuff modes in the platform level. In the settings, here we can have see these password managers CPM debuff levels on comma 2 and trace levels. That is, we can give that debuff mode. Components can be set in the configuration file stored in the Vault. This is the document. We can get it to the community portal. We can get to the document portal. We can get all the documents how to configure the debuff levels for all the components. It will be available in the documentation session. It will available detailed information with the proper screenshots. See, it's it and Vault and related components, the year. We can see and we can read it. All this, it will be available and you can understand easily. These are the normal one, peerwood. What are the debuff files? What are the log files? You can see this documentation and you can read it if you have a time. But most probably it will not go this much way, and you can understand that. This is X reagent. X reagent colors logs on configuration files from the components in the sample and single-step process. The utility can be run from the remote mission or any other cyber servers. We can able to run it. All data files are encrypted during the collection, or regardless whether they are collected locally or remotely or transferred back to the X-ray mission. And you can save the collected data with your partner or cyber, knowing that that is safely encrypted during the transfer agent setup. Agent setup. You want to set up the any agents, we have to set up it, and basically for the C8, CP and CP, there are two more components are there, that is in development level. We totally component to retrieve the credentials from the cyber icon. It will give to the application level those components which require agent. Based on that, we need to install some agent setup here. For this X-ray agent also, we need to set up here. How we can set up? There are the steps which we need to follow. Monitor the collection process through the command prompt. You can process it. And documentation. This is what save the collection data. How we can save the collection data and send to the partner and send to the cyber. Cyber app is. It will go to the direct cyber application data configuration. All those things we can send it. By the end of this session, we will able to perform the basic troubleshooting. Use authentication component, connectivity to the world. Automatic password management by CPN runs. Privilege sessions via PSM. Use user authentication issues. User resource. Authentication failure is how we can see. This is the authentication failure user. Bill is unable to log in. This is an example. Bill is unable to log in and he can change his network password recently and try to log in into the PVDA with his old password. Now he is trying with his new password and it does not work. He connects the world, his world administrator. What are the steps which is needs to be? Basically he was no changes network password, but he didn't update this. He was updated world password and it was a converse lock, and he's after account was locked, he's trying for the new password. It is not working. Also, he was connected to his cyber app. It's a data administrator will deserve that issue. I didn't think they are in the ITL log file. The world administrator can see in the IDL log on the world that a user build failed to log in items then was suspended. I have that. You login issue, right? For example, you are enter the feed time chint credit password. Immediately, the account will be locked or suspended. This is the feed time. Feed time should happen 1, 3, 4, 5. Immediately what happened? It was suspended. After feed time 6 times, he was fired for the new. Try to update with new password, but that also it is not working because the user is suspended. Then he was connected. He was connected with the Cyber Academy. Status administrator is checking that. What is the log issue? He identified that you have entered this. This is the story, and he will go to the privateer client and they will unlock that user. The issue will be resolved. That is how it will work here. See here what happened. Unsuspended user. We need to use the resuspended here. We have to unsuspend that user. The bill is here. Go to the privateer client and in that click on the bill. We can see the first and net areas. Click on this and activate the user. Understand. This is the how we can go it. You know right how to come this space. You know the users on group space. If you know this, on a click on particular user and click on that president and net areas. If you click on this next page, it would be like this. Go to the activated. Close that. Then he can able to log in next time by using his new password. Automatic suspended user. The world can be configured to unsuspended user automatically after the pre-deployed time period. Using the user lockout period time in minutes parameter. Demo for example. User lockout period. It's a 5 minutes. We can keep it as a 10 minutes. We need to give the user lockout period in the minutes. We have to give the 5 minutes after 5 minutes. It will automatically unlock that. Component connectivity issues. Here you can see in the PB Australia yesterday, you have seen that the PSM component having some issue. Same way here, you can see the system healthy here in the system health. In the PB view system health, we can see that CPM user is disconnected. The connection component of the case never. How we can see in the server central admission. This is the private server service. Here you can see the IP address suspended for the user password manager. It's a password manager is suspended occasionally. We have to do. First, we need to check the log files. Occasionally, the passwords for the component user can get out of sync. The password stored in the world no longer matches the password. The password stored in the world no longer matches the password stored in the credential file. There is a tool available in the cyber server. We can directly go and services and start it. That it will work. Stop the CPM services here. You can see these sites in the Services CyberArk Central Policy Manager Scanner. What is it happened? It is running and below the password manager is stopped. We need to start it. Stop the CPM services here. Click on the just for the example how to do it all this thing. We can change the default users passwords also. But always keep never expire. Don't change it. These are the default user. Always keep. The password should not expire. Unsuspense the component user. You just activate here. First and network. The same procedure, even though it is default user. You have to follow the same procedure, ungenerate the new credentials file. The world folder under the password manager. 1. The command create file x userint. We can create the new credentials and update there. Once that is done, we can start the restart the CPM services all. Whatever you are doing, the services first check. Forget about all these things. Just check the services whether it is working or not. If it is not working, what is the next step? Go and check the privateer client and see any password. You change it. If you don't know the password, reset the password and update the new password and update into the data password into the create file also. Once you update that, you can start these services. In the event PTA connectivity is not working, you may need to re-sync the credentials of PTA. We will use as well as the credentials stored in the PTA. We will get back on. That time we need to check that. This can be do easily by running the world permission validation. At the script. Look at it in the utility folder file. These are the credentials. Generally in the organization, they will create it. Never expect. They will create it. It will never expect the credentials. You may not get it. These type of issues. But still you should have an idea. If something happened for the particular user, worst needs to be taken. Action on that. The common is this document is an advice. This is giving this document. This document will elaborate. It is when practical scenarios, even if you are having the work experience. And we can give it the common issues related to CPM. What are the common issues which we are facing? What can interface with the CPM? Local computer policy. The platform and master policy settings must not be conflict with the password policy and target. This password policy. In the target system, local computer policy. The platform and master policy settings must not be conflict with the password policy and target system. And we need to inform the two directly and they will take care. First thing, for the target users, complexity of that. And while onboarding Jack-ons, we will have a nice discussion with all the applications, Flecom owners. And we are going to onboard these seconds. But how to connect the accounts to the end user? We have to provide the documentation them. Then only they will agree. Whatever you are doing, we need to discuss with them and tell them these are the policies which we are having. What is your policies? What is your policies? How we are maintaining all these things? We need to gather the information from the application owners. And we have to do the onboarding. In my current projects, we have to gather. I got the information from all the application. Then we start doing the onboarding. This is the development task. But still, you should get some idea. Target window seconds. Understanding the problems. What are the problems which we are having? And based on that, which we need to verify and change the reconciliation. And API and net use command alternative against these will help us the target unique seconds. And all those things we need to see. That's some common issues related to PSM. This is mostly important. And the connection troubleshooting. These are the important no question which you may get in the interview. In what stage does the problem will occur? PSM target. Understanding the problem. One account, the multiple accounts on same account. Is the PSM hard-ended? Is the PSM is in domain? Which connection type is being used to the RDP file and remote app? And if there are multiple PSM servers, are they distributed or load balance? Everything which we need to check first, co-RDP connection troubleshooting. Register that troubleshooting. Check the PSM service first. If it is overhanging or if it is not working, the PSM service is not working, then definitely it will not work. First, we need to enable that. On the logs and events of the PSM server system and applications, we can check the logs and events on the PSM server and disable LA on the PSM the target. These are the steps to disable recordings and auditing everything. We started to do some troubleshooting issues in see the manual connection with the PSM Connect, and PSM Connect is one of the default user. And we need to check always whether this user is inactive. If this is your resuspender, definitely PSM will not work. And run MSTC to the target system. And check the same permissions compared with other steps. And disable recording and auditing. And check the PSM protocol version and increase the timeout values. For example, we are giving this some connectors. To connect the target application for the turn, connect as we use to update the timing out. Timing out means 5 minutes to minutes, like that. It may not be connect on that time. It will show you the result as a timing out. How to disable the DLA? Network level authentication. We have to disable allow the remote connection to this computer. How it's required. How do you know? It requires the connecting user to authenticate them before session is established with the server. You can disable the LA in order to determine that is causing the problem. All of the connections only from the commentators running the remote desk with local network, local authentication. They command. We need to check these steps. If something happened, if anyone asks in the entire question, you can see these. No, prepare this one on. Give the answer and provide that. How to disable. Go to the PSM mission that are target mission on control panel system and security systems remote settings. We can allow these ones. Connect manually with the PSM Connect. To PS Connect, go to the PSM. What is this? PS Connect ConnectCom properties. Go to the manual to test the PSM Connect user. And go to these and we have to do the settings. And increasing the timing outs, how we have to give the timing out target systems and the connection component. No init. Timing out. It's a 20,000. You can increase. If you want, you can increase or you can decrease. It double the timing out values. Maybe you will load in room and may be suffering from the longer timings for the certain components to being the work. It is somewhat recommended better. Basically, because I work, we'll give this 5 minutes of time. These are the second. PSM. PSs are PSM Connect and CyberArk users. Understanding the problem. Is it supported? Is mapping drives enabled? That's some subal sorting here. The same recommendations as for the PSM and the DPP. Run the component manually using the CyberArk user. If CyberArk user is not working, definitely PSM server. PSM server will not work. DLT CyberArk users from the PSM competitors on management. Adjust the app. Lock core remote manual in the Windows for the isolation. You can go through this, all these things, you can come to know what exactly it is. Next to be, take that step and what needs to be. Take the action for this PSM, this question. This PSM guys, PSM RDP connection, yes question. You may get wherever you can go, the entire way. If PSM RDP connection troubleshooting issue, how to do it? What exactly the problem? You can tell this. Maybe you need to check the PSM service logs and events of the video. You can tell this story. They will feel happy. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.